March of 2026 is gearing up to be a massive month for the crypto space as a whole. We have regulators and CEOs across the board meeting in Washington, D.C. for the Blockchain Summit 2026. This is a massive event. At the same time, we have the SEC holding a roundtable and other meetings that you want to be aware of because they kind of overlap when we put them together. And then when we look at the fact that we're waiting for the Clarity Act to be signed and all these events are taking place, I think we are getting closer to the Clarity Act being signed than we may be aware of. Let's go ahead and jump into the first story. And this does come from Stronghold SHX on February 23rd, 2026. Take a look at your screen with me. It says, blockchain is transforming the architecture of global finance. We are proud to sponsor Digital Chambers DC Blockchain Summit 2026 as we continue building compliant, scalable payment infrastructure powered by digital assets and stablecoins. So we have Stronghold is a bronze sponsor of the DC Summit. This is going to be a big summit, and like I said, we're going to look at it on the back of the video here as we go through. We're going to look at that summit and look at the different speakers that are attending this summit. Before we move forward, I'd like to let you guys know I had my wisdom teeth removed just yesterday before recording this video today. So my mouth is definitely still sore, but I wanted to get this information out to you guys. So I apologize if my mouth or my words aren't so clear. It just comes from that. We'll power through it, no worries. But also, while I have you here, this video is coming out on February 27th, 2026. That is 1 year of this channel being on YouTube. Take a look at this young man back here trying to figure out what he's doing on YouTube. This is my first video that was posted, and as you can see down here, I got 84 views from it on February 27th, 2025. If anybody has been around since that time frame, let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for the support of this channel. It has grown to over 5,300 subscribers so far in 1 year. I cannot thank you enough. This is a big step, a 1 year anniversary on YouTube. So thank you guys for sticking around and believing in this channel. Now let's move on and let's look at the DC Summit, which is what you're here for, of course, is learning more about this. Take a look at your screen with me here. We have DC Blockchain Summit 2026, and the time is March 17th through the 18th. It's going to be held in Washington, DC. This is a massive summit with all the regulators and big companies coming together to talk about digital assets. And again, as I said in the beginning of the video, what a perfect time when we think about the Clarity Act, which will be signed in DC or getting pushed forward in DC. All these conversations happening around that same time period. I don't think it's a coincidence personally, but it's interesting to see that how all this lines up. So let's read on about it for the people that aren't sure about the summit, or maybe you haven't heard about the summit yet. Let's read along and kind of give you a brief overview of what this is. Check it out with me. It says, about the summit, the DC Blockchain Summit brings together the most influential voices leading the blockchain and digital asset ecosystem, connecting them with the nation's top policymakers and regulators for crucial decisions and conversations on key issues that will define the future of our industry and its success. So right there, we hear that the policymakers and regulators are coming together for this summit to speak about digital assets. I mean, do I have to say more about it really? So let's take a quick look at the speakers. I'm not going to go through all of them, but do understand there are so many speakers that are going to be here from the CFTC, the SEC, the different senators. There's so many people that are influential in this space that are going to come together March 17th through the 18th. So let's take a look at a couple of the speakers here and just going to top line some of the bigger names that stood out to me. Go ahead and take a look at your screen with me here. We have, of course, Paul Atkins, which is the chairman of the SEC. Hester Pierce, of course, she's going to be there. The commissioner, Michael Selig of the CFTC. And as I said, as you roll down, you do start seeing these different senators and representatives of the United States here. Everybody knows Cynthia Lummis, of course. But on this page here, as we scroll down, let's look at different influential speakers here, which we have We have Secretary, Department of Labor. We keep rolling down. Comptroller of the Currency, the OCC, Jonathan Gold. Then we have Chairman of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So Chairman of the FDIC is going to be there. Then we have the Executive Director, President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets. Of course, Patrick Wick. I know you've seen him around. Then we have a Counselor of the U.S. Department of Treasury. As we keep rolling down here, we check out who else is going to be here. We have the Acting Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. And keep rolling down here, I wanted to point out this one here. Of course, CEO Stronghold Tammy Camp is going to be there. That's awesome to see that Stronghold is going to be represented. Aptos Labs, of course, is going to be there. Telcoin, I know I get a couple of questions about Telcoin in my comments. It's one of those projects that should be bigger and more prominent in this space than it is. If you don't know about Telcoin, I highly suggest you check them out. And if you keep on going down here, you'll see different crypto projects, CEOs, etc., that you're used to, of course, like Tron, right? Who doesn't know Justin Sun by now? Anyways, I'm not going to go through all that. I just want to get this on people's radar so they know what's going on and what's coming up. And as you're going through here, you're seeing who's going to be there. I will leave the link down in the description as always, so you guys can check that out for yourself, because I do think it's important. You understand, when you see these people in the same room together, they know what's going on. This is more of a theater act to me, that they're getting out there and put on this show and letting the public know what's going on. By the time they have this speech or this summit, they already know what's coming up. They know what rules and regulations are going to get put in place, and they're all rubbing elbows together. I'm bringing this out to essentially say, get ready for more volatility in March. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of it. But keep in mind, volatility can mean skyrocketing numbers, or it can dump the market as well. And if you've been in this space for a while, you know anything that is massive and has to impact the market, it actually drops first before it takes off again. So I would keep your eyes around the March 17th, 18th time frame. Typically the weekend before, you'll see it come up. Then around that Monday, starting for that week, it will drop down again in the market, because these people, again, they know what's going on, and the big money knows what's going on as well. So let's move into the SEC and what's coming up with them. This is going to come from their actual website, and this is on their calendar. So again, it will be in my description. You can find it. But there's two different events happening on March 3rd and March 4th that I wanted to bring up. Sorry, this is acting up on me here. So check out your screen with me here. We have the Milken Institute Future of Finance 2026. This comes out March 3rd is when this is going to happen. We have the SEC Chairman Paul Atkins will participate in the opening preliminary of the Milken Institute Future of Finance 2026 event in Washington, D.C. He will be joined by CFTC Chairman Michael Selig, and the conversation will focus on modernizing market regulation. It will focus on modernizing market regulation. Keep that in mind. And you're going to have Paul Atkins and Mike Selig there together. And this is that panel here, which is going to take place from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on March 3rd, 2026. But what I found more interesting is the second part of that, which is this one here, is the Shaping the Future of Finance, a conversation with the U.S. House Financial Services Committee Chairman French Hill, that's taking place the same day at 2 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm pointing that out, of course, because when you have these massive players, especially the heads of the SEC and the CFTC coming together, these are going to be massive events that a lot of information is going to come from, especially when we look at the Clarity Act and we think about the CFTC has already submitted their side of the Clarity Act, and now we're waiting for their bankers side, which is more the SEC side, to get finalized. And this, of course, has been the big pushback when it comes to the Clarity Act, is from the bankers. And we're seeing March 3rd that we are getting closer into having more conversations and shining more light on this. And then by the 17th, 18th, we had the summit happening in DC as well. Can you see how it wouldn't be too surprising if shortly after or around this time frame we see the Clarity Act finally get pushed forward, just based off of these conversations coming up? They're all meeting together, right? This isn't a coincidence. We just have to watch what they're doing. Always follow the money. And then the second part I wanted to check out was March 4th, which is the, check it out with me, is the Private Markets Roundtable. As retail across access to private market accelerates, the SEC is hosting a roundtable to discuss governance, valuation, and other considerations with the aim of promoting reasonable retaliation. I cannot speak, I'm sorry. But I wanted to point that out is one of my previous videos talking about how Paul Atkins was saying they're gonna look more into the private sector. So keep in mind, we have the top dogs, we have NASDAQ, the stock, they're getting clarity and now they're rolling it down to the private sector. That's what they're focusing on. That came from Paul Atkins directly saying they're gonna start focusing on the private sector when it comes to the stock markets, etc. But as we look into this private markets roundtable, something on their agenda that stood out to me as I was reading through it, you can go ahead and check it out with me on your screen here. It says, this is panel 1, when two worlds collide. And keep in mind, we have PwC is going to be there, Moody's, Blackstone, right? So it says assets classes historically offered in the private markets continue to migrate into publicly offered vehicles as the lines between public and private continue to blur. What are the opportunities and challenges that presents for managers, investors, and regulators? What should the investing public consider? So they're concerned now that we get more retail investors involved. Think about what crypto is doing. It's opening the door to the people like us, retail, that doesn't really have the access to the capital to invest in certain things. Because a lot of times to be a tier 1 investor, you got to have $1 million put up, $100,000 put up, etc. But now we're getting more access as a retail side as these two worlds do merge, and they're trying to figure out how do they keep the lines clear and clean. So I think by the time we get through March 3rd through the 18th, I think we will have more clarity around digital assets. And again, I would not be surprised to see the Clarity Act being signed sometime around that frame. Could it be April? Sure, it could be April. But I do want to point out and keep in mind that March starts the election process for your state and local officials all the way up to the presidency. So you're going to start seeing more ramp up of politician ads. You've probably seen it on YouTube now, more political ads, people getting out there and putting their name out there. So you're going to start seeing more success stories happening. They're going to make us feel good. You're going to see more crazy things happening to keep us distracted at the same time. So keep your head level, keep your wits about you, stay educated. Don't let these headlines run you off, because as you know, that's their end goal, is to get much as retail out as possible before they do flip that switch, quote unquote, when things do get signed and move forward. It's important to stay educated. I hope you found something in this video informational, something valuable, sorry. If you did, please consider hitting that like button, leaving a comment down below. Are you excited about this blockchain summit? Do you expect this Clarity Act to come up in March or April? And if you like this kind of reporting where I don't give you any kind of crazy hype or wild price predictions to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, consider hitting that subscribe button. We would love to have you a part of the channel. Before I let you go, as always though, hey, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and become that change you want to see. I'll see you on the next one.